On November 26, 1922, archaeologist Howard Carter examined the sealed ancient doorway his team had just uncovered in Egypt's Valley of the Kings, knowing they had made a huge discovery. Carter chiseled a small hole in the doorway and peered through. "Do you see anything?" his crew excitedly asked. "Wonderful things," Carter replied. The wonderful things Carter was gazing upon were the funerary items and golden sarcophagus of an unknown pharaoh who had been resting there for thousands of years. Carter was overjoyed, as by 1922 most people believed all the tombs in the Valley of Kings had been raided by grave robbers, so finding a sealed tomb was monumental. Over the next several decades, the identity of the unknown pharaoh would be confirmed as Tutankhamun. This was determined by examining the hieroglyphs within the tomb, which included his birth name, which was Nebkheperur, along with his throne name, Tutankhamun, which translates to living image of Amun. In ancient Egypt, each pharaoh's name would be written within a cartouche, which was an oval-shaped hieroglyphic that enclosed their name to signify royal status. This is also how we found the tomb of Pharaoh Ramses II. It was known to be located in the Valley of the Kings, but historians weren't sure which tomb it was. It was only after examining the hieroglyphics did they identify Ramses II's cartouche. To the ancient Egyptians, inscriptions of divine names and prayers played a crucial role in religious ceremonies and funerary rites, which is why an ancient Egyptian tomb isn't finished without hieroglyphics. It was crucial tombs had hieroglyphics, so it was clear whom the tomb belonged to and what they had accomplished in their life. This wasn't for potential visitors, but for the soul of the dead in the afterlife. This is why the Great Pyramid of Giza is so strange. The accepted theory is that the pyramid was commissioned by the Pharaoh Khufu to serve as his tomb, and it was completed around 2560 BC, but there are a few problems with this. As we've previously discussed, the tombs of pharaohs were to be magnificently decorated with various inscriptions and carvings, but there are no hieroglyphics in the Great Pyramid. Not only that, but the sarcophagus that was found empty has absolutely no inscriptions or carvings on it, which is extremely strange for the tomb of a pharaoh, let alone the tomb that is supposed to be the greatest. Just stop for a moment and think about it. If the Great Pyramid is a tomb, it's the equivalent of a gravestone that's missing the person's name and religious symbols. That means the Egyptians would have assembled over 2 million stone blocks to honor someone only to not write the person's name or any of the normal blessings on the finished product. One theory is the pharaoh died before it was finished, but if that's the case, another pharaoh would have used it for their tomb and decorated it accordingly. We can assume this because the Egyptians often recycled building materials, which can be seen on the pyramid itself. The outside used to be covered with white limestone, but over time the stones were removed and used in other projects. Pharaohs like Djoser also moved the remains of their ancestors to their tombs, showing that moving remains or using another person's tomb wasn't unheard of. In fact, the Great Pyramid is even lacking in cartouches, which sets it apart from every single monumental construction of ancient Egypt. There is only one cartouche in the Great Pyramid, and its authenticity has recently come under question due to the potential misspelling of Khufu. The cartouche was found by Colonel Howard Weiss in 1837, and he drew a copy of it in his notes, but shockingly, the symbol inside the pyramid today is different than the drawing from when it was discovered. Weiss's original drawing puts the first symbol of the name as the golden disc, which is a circle with a dot in the middle. This is a symbol of the sun, and it's associated with the god Ra, and it's pronounced that way as well. Khufu's name should start with the sieve, which is a circle with 4 lines going through it as it makes a KH sound. If the allegations are true, someone has altered the only cartouche found in the Great Pyramid in order to fit a narrative that Khufu built them. It's also interesting that mainstream scholars will discredit other theories related to the pyramids as lacking evidence when there isn't any physical evidence suggesting who built the Pyramid of Giza. But there is some physical evidence that the cartouche in the pyramid has been altered. The sieve is supposed to have 4 horizontal lines going through it. Currently in the pyramid, there are 3 lines, making it incorrectly drawn. It's ludicrous to say the Egyptians would have built this pyramid for a pharaoh only to include his name a single time and then spell it wrong. It's also ridiculous to suggest ancient Egyptians wouldn't immediately see the issue in the symbol. You can also clearly see the remnants of the dot in the middle of the circle. which a sieve wouldn't have. In closing, I don't pretend to have all the answers to the Great Pyramid, but the facts in this video raise legitimate questions about the narrative around the pyramid and its construction. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more captivating history content.